brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Welcome to this Suds episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. I'm one of your hosts here at the table, good old boy Mike. Joining me here at the table is good old boy Dave.
Hey, everybody.
Dave.
That's all I got, man.
I heard the sound of trees falling already.
Titans lost, so I don't have much to say.
Also joining me here at the table is good old boy Kendall.
Hey, how you doing? It's great to be back.
And introducing good old gal June.
Hi, good to be here.
Oh, she is so thrilled.
Yay!
I have applause, people.
We love
really
June.
want to fake it out. Well, Kendall and June also have a blog you'll hear more about at the end of the show today called Beer Makes Three. This Sip, Suds, and Smokes episode is sponsored by Peabody Wine and Beer Merchants. Taste it before you buy it and ship it at Peabody's. You can reach them at www.peabodyswineandbeer.com. Well, our Sud segments are all about beer, and more beer. And today's show is a beer destination show. That's a first for us, isn't it?
That's a good destination.
It's a good time.
Man.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. Beer is just not a beverage anymore. It's a destination, or actually, in this case, it's a journey. Whoa. Kendall and June recently took a beer journey around Oregon. We're going to get to discuss their journey of beer. Plus, Dave and I are actually going to be making fun of all things Oregonian.
I didn't even know they made beer in Oregon.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it
weird?
I think Oregonian's a big word for you, Dave.
I don't think that's really a word, so...
June is here to mainly laugh at my jokes and to keep Kendall in line. So.
No, she's not going to laugh at your jokes.
Yes.
It's a pity laugh.
Well, this definitely was all about a journey, and, I think that what's really cool is that thinking about beer as a destination. So let's hop on the plane. Let's get moving.
I thought that was the sound that usually was made when you make a joke.
No. Usually people leaving. Please buckle your seatbelt. Aisle 3, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you very much for your attention, and now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the takeoff. The captain has made tower communications available, so if you'd like to monitor the air traffic system, you'll find that on Channel 9 and your headset's in the seat pocket in front of you. We'll give you a little more information about our service plan for our flight this evening as soon as we're in the air. Thank you, and again, welcome aboard.
Well, definitely off to Oregon we go. June, can you give us an overview of the trip itself? Where did you go? How much did it rain? Did anyone get attacked by wildlife? These are the things we really want to know.
Okay. We flew into Portland. We immediately hopped into our rental car and headed out to the coast, out to Astoria. We spent the first night there at the Pacific Northwest Brewers Cup. So,
did a beer fest,
yeah,
right?
A small beer fest. Was really cool right there on the coast. And the next day we headed out to Newport and stayed at the Rogue Inn, which was amazing.
Very cool.
Very cool. We loved that. Got to hang out with some locals there at Rogue. From there we headed down to Coos Bay, which had some of the most beautiful coastline that I've ever seen.
Stayed with fresh seafood.
And fresh seafood, yeah. Fresh tuna, fresh oysters that morning that we cooked on the grill. From there, we headed to Eugene and hit the ale trail there and sampled lots and lots of beer. Yeah.
That town really misses Mariota.
Yes, they do. Sampled lots of beer on the ale trail in Eugene. So we packed in a lot in that one day. From there, we headed out to Bend, which was my absolute favorite spot on the whole trip.
It's beautiful.
We did an ale trail there as well. Went up to see Crater Lake one day while we were there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was really cool, we saw Mirror Pond, Black Butte, and Mount Bachelor.
Yep.
So
Those are beers, right?
Yes, those are beers.
Well, so a giant loop around Central Oregon is kind of what you guys did. And I actually know mainly about the wine regions in this area. Remember, I'm the wine geek at the beer table. And I've actually been to ski at Bachelor Mountain. So I actually learned to snowboard. Please hold your laughter down. Okay. They're all looking at me like, seriously? Are you kidding?
So is Bachelor Mountain like kind of messy and disheveled, but really kind of happy and carefree?
There was beer involved with this experience. That's all I have to say. Listen, so I learned to snowboard on that trip and discovered that I'm actually more of a ski guy, and I actually enjoy the additional surface area of the skis to snow. So I'm not actually going to confess to exactly how many faceplants convinced me of that.
Was gravity your friend?
Negative. No, it was definitely not my friend. All I have to say is that I actually did not look the same leaving as I did coming to Bachelor Mountain.
But he did make it to the bottom.
I definitely made it to the bottom of a lot of areas of that mountain. That's all I got to say. It was a very interesting trip. This is a much bigger, longer story about that in the snow. As well as trying to watch a southern guy try to put snow chains on. It's a long story. We're not going to go through it today. We are going to talk about beer today, and I've asked Dave is going to go over our Suds ratings for today.
So we will be tasting and discussing these beers from Oregon and rating them with these Suds ratings from Mike, plus our signature belching sounds from our bodies. Here are those ratings now. Number 1, that sucks. Give me anything but a bud. Number 2, was that a belch? It wasn't much of a belch. Number 3, what a relief. Number 4, a body should really not make that sound. And number 5, listen to that hang time. Give me another duck.
Well, off we go, and Kendall and June are actually going to take us on this journey of beer, and along the way we're going to cover some of their top 3 picks, some shockers, both good and bad, and we're going to talk about the sellout effect, which is ground zero in Oregon, with the buyouts of 10 Barrel, Full Sail, and Logsdon have all occurred there in the Oregon area. So, Kendall, why don't you kind of take us off this journey, kind of let us know some of the early breweries you had.
It was a fantastic trip, and June and I have been wanting to see Oregon for a long time. We've been to Portland about 5 times, and we wanted to see Oregon and see what the state was like. So we flew out, as June said, we drove up to Astoria the first night, and Fort George Brewery, oh my. If you get a chance to taste any of their beer, make sure you get it. Probably some of the best beer coming out of that part of Oregon.
What kind of stuff?
I think it's Cavatapa. It's a black ale that's just delicious. Their IPAs were good. Didn't have a bad beer in the place. Let's see if I can look at my list of beers here. I've got like 6 pages of beers that I tried while I was out there. But there's
a 1-hour show.
Their 3-way IPA was a fresh hot beer, and that's one of the great things about going to Oregon in the last week of September. Everybody has fresh hot beer. Hop Harvest starts in August, and it wasn't just like a novelty. Like a brewer here in Tennessee might have 1 fresh hot beer. Everybody has fresh hot. 3 fresh hot beers, 4 fresh hot beers.
Good travel tip right there. Time it. Correctly.
And it wasn't just IPAs. There were fresh hop reds, fresh hop ambers, fresh hop pales.
So fall is a great time, or early fall.
Yeah, perfect. I would say late September, early October. Good time for the fresh hop beer. So, but check out Fort George, top-notch beers in Astoria.
And also the Goonies House is in Astoria.
The Goonies House is in Astoria.
Yeah. Everybody we told we were going to Astoria, they're like, well, go see the Goonies House. Yeah.
Did it still look like that?
I never saw Goonies, so I don't know.
We don't know.
Get off. You're out of the show right now.
That's what everybody says.
You're done.
And so the second day, we drove down the gorgeous Oregon coast to Newport, which is home of Rogue.
Oh.
And had lunch at Rogue's Brewers on the Bay, which is the production facility. Across the bay is their pub and the Bed and Beer. So we got a room in the Bed and Beer, which is a little one-bedroom apartment upstairs from the pub. So that's convenient.
Very
Do you
cool.
get to sleep in beer?
No, but there is beer. There is Rogue beer in the fridge after you check in.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
They have the beer bath.
I thought about it.
Have you ever seen one of those places?
I have not.
There are places that you can actually have beer
Seems like
on tap.
a waste of beer, but
I agree.
Well, it's good for your hair.
There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that.
Yeah, really?
In the tub.
yeah. Thanks for rubbing that in.
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
One of the things about sleeping in Oregon is you need earplugs. You want to tell them about that, Jim?
Oh, the sea lions.
Sea lions.
They're
everywhere.
I thought it was
I've got
the
a video
screaming
of them.
hipsters.
I thought it would
with
have been
it.
the falling trees.
But there's sea lions.
Yeah, they
in
gave
all
us
the bays.
earplugs. They gave us earplugs. Yeah,
Really?
when we
Yes.
checked into the hotel. Yeah,
See, I think that I would just drink enough where I wouldn't hear the sea lion.
yeah,
So
yeah.
But Rogue was just fantastic, and I realized in this part of the country we just don't know much about Rogue. I just, I know they make good beer.
You see the big brand names, but not probably the
You don't
really-
see the people
Yeah.
and the culture. And so staying in Newport, we got to see the culture of Rogue and got to meet the people. Great people. The locals just love it. We were staying at the pub, and we were going to go in, have a beer, then walk down the street and have dinner, and we never left. We got there at 5 and we stayed till like 10:30. They had great food there, amazing beer, but the locals, that's where they hang out. And so we were talking to people all night long, and it kept changing out. And one of the best things that had happened while we were there in Oregon is I'm talking to this old guy. He pours concrete for a living, blue collar dude. And in Tennessee, he'd probably drink Busch Light, but he was just putting away the Rogue.
I'm sorry, we don't say that.
But he was drinking the Rogue's bitter and just loved it.
This is a family-friendly beer show.
And so he goes, "Why'd you come to Oregon?" And I'm like, "Well, we did go for an anniversary trip, but we're also here to drink beer, and we're here to drink a lot of beer all over the state." And he goes, "Well, have you been to Oregon before?" And I said, "Well, I've been to Portland 5 times." And he looked right at me and he said, "Portland ain't Oregon."
That's what I'm talking about.
So, and I realized that Oregon's a very blue-collar state. It seemed like logging and fishing were some of the biggest industries there. And it was very different from Portland, which is a very urban, hipster-filled city.
Yeah. That tends to be what people are known for is the metropolitan areas, but it rarely defines what the entire state's about.
Yeah.
So great times. Anything else on Rogue?
I think we invited people to come back and see us in Nashville.
Oh, well, several.
Yeah. So
and Rogue really has great distribution, and it's something you can find, in a lot of places. What do they make, like 482 beers?
It's a lot of different beer.
So I tend to like their organic beers that they make at Rogue. Many of those have been quite good. But I have to say that the one thing I just tell people, do not have the Voodoo Donut beer.
No, not one of their best.
Not their best offering.
Everybody's got one of those, though,
I like their brown. Their brown ale is very good. I really enjoy that. And there's a couple of versions, like a hazelnut brown and a regular brown.
And they had the hazelnut there that was fresh.
Yeah.
With some
It was
fresh
really good.
hazelnuts.
Cool.
Really nice.
Really
But
good.
yeah, really cool people. I gained a new respect for Rogue just because I got to experience the Rogue culture, the Rogue Nation, as they call it. We actually took the pledge. We are now Rogue Nation citizens.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure you're allowed to come back here to Tennessee?
I'm not sure about that.
Is there any belching involved in that?
There was.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a belch.
Yeah. That was a belch.
There was some of that involved, too.
That was a belch from the other end.
And then so we cruised down the coast, saw some friends at Coos Bay, had some great beer at Seven Devils. It's the only brewery in Coos Bay,
Devils.
very small brewery. And then we headed to Eugene and started the Ale Trail.
That's when it got wild.
That was
Home of the Ducks. So in Eugene, we did the Ale Trail. There's 8 different breweries that participate, or there's more breweries that participate than that, like 12. But if you go to 8 of them, you get a free Eugene Ale Trail mini growler, like one of the 1-quart growlers.
That's
so that
pretty
was
cool.
cool. We got that and got to
we
taste
did like
the beer.
8 breweries in like 8 hours.
8 breweries in 8 hours.
Nice.
It was spectacular. But we went
Don't
to
remember any of them.
Yeah, that's
one of
why
the
I have
best
notes.
Falling Sky had it was a brew pub, great bacon at the deli, the biggest, thickest bacon I've ever seen.
Really?
Wow.
One slice covered my burger.
Tell me about it.
It was amazing. But one of the probably
I think I'm getting wet over here.
I'd say one of the best beers we had in
Me too.
in Eugene.
That was completely inappropriate.
Very. But Hop Valley. And Hop Valley's starting to make a name for themselves. They're getting some wider distribution. Not only their Alphadelic IPA, they've also got one called Citrus Mistress, which is a grapefruit IPA that we got to have and really enjoyed that. But
that was a good one.
That was really good. But we've got some Hop Valley here in front of us, so we brought back.
We do. So we have the
Quite
IPA
good.
from Hop Valley. And June, tell us all about this beer.
Yeah, this is the Alphadelic IPA out of Springfield, Oregon. It has an ABV of 6.7%.
Nice.
I love this commercial description. It says, "You can run, but you can't hide from the hops in this true Northwest IPA, brewed by hop lovers for hop lovers."
You can almost hear the hops falling in the trees as we're talking about this. Dave, did you have a chance to try this beer, and what do you think about it?
Shoot, yeah. Hold on. Let me drink some more.
Yes, to drink some more, please. Replace
So-
Oregon Saison.
Oh, God, I feel like a duck in a shiny helmet. So, great, well-rounded flavors. Very hop forward, but there's a nice malt backbone to it. I don't know much about this beer. I don't know much about this brewery, but I like them. Hop Valley, I think, is well named. I don't know. Does anybody know what hops are in this beer?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, they're good. Kind of citrusy, but with a little bit of dankness to it, I would say.
Cascade.
Yeah.
Nugget.
Nugget.
That's what I'm
Cascade.
guessing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care. They're good. I would give this beer a 4.
A 4. The body should really not make that sound. Good gal June. What do you think about this Alphadelic beer from Hop Valley?
I like this. It has a nice citrusy aroma. It's got a little sweetness, a little hoppiness, but not too much hoppiness. Just a really nice Northwest style IPA, I think.
And your rating?
I'd give it a 4.
A 4 as well. The body should really not make that sound. Good old boy Kendall, what do you think about Alphadelic from Hop Valley?
I like this. It's one of my favorite beers I had out there. I think one of the favorite breweries, too. Just a really cool place, great tap room, and they've got a good tap room in Eugene. I think they were founded in Springfield and maybe have some operations there. Springfield is like 2 miles away from Eugene, kind of right there next to each other. And it's Hop Valley. It's literally in the Willamette Valley where a huge chunk of all the American hops come from.
Like Willamette.
So they are making great beer. I like it. It's like you said, it's got a great malt, but it's not the kind of caramelly thick malt in some older IPAs. It's very light.
Yeah, very balanced.
But I'm getting a little bit of that pine and resin out of it too, and I think it's a great IPA, and I'm giving it a 4.
4 as well. The body should really not make that sound. Well, my own tasting notes on this are, I agree. The malt is the belle of the ball here in this beer. It's a little bit dry for an IPA. So I thought that was the one thing, and the hops are not the thing that's forward in this beer itself. So. To kind of accuse this being a West Coast IPA, I don't know if I would. That would be a bit
It's not bitter enough to be a West Coast IPA.
No, that's why it's a Northwest IPA.
So I would definitely say
this guy over here,
a very malt forward IPA. I'm going to give it a 3. Was that a belch? I'm sorry. That's not our number 3 rating. It's
what a relief.
You're going to have to give it a 5.
Yes, number 3 is what a relief, as my esteemed crew is telling me here. Well, with that, it's time to take a quick break so they can make fun of me of the fact that I forgot something.
Oh, we'll do it when we come back to it.
I'm sure of that. Listen, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Ducks.
Hey, welcome back to Sips, Suds, and Smokes. Today we are talking about a beer journey to Oregon with good old boy Kendall and good old gal June. We're covering some breweries along the way. We're tasting some beers and rating them along the way. So what is up next in this great journey, Kendall?
Well, we were still in Eugene, and one of the places we went at the last brewery of the night was a brew pub called Steelhead. I think the oldest brew pub in Eugene, like Steelhead Trout, I believe.
Yeah.
It's close to the hotel, which is always good.
Very good.
Totally.
About a block away. You remember that one? What did you think of Steelhead, Gene?
I don't remember that.
Is that? Are you saying
it was the end
that
of the
must
night, right?
had too much to drink?
That means that means it was a great.
It was in close proximity to where you were staying.
That was a good thing.
Remember that.
It's almost like if you remember.
I have the pictures from that evening. Here they are.
Yeah.
It's like they say.
I am a lightweight. I'm just going to say that up front.
If you remember the '60s, you weren't there.
My name's Harold. I really like June. She's a good gal. She knows how to party. She knows how to carry trees.
One of my favorite beers at Steelhead was their CDA, their Cascadian Dark Ale.
Ooh,
which is
different.
That's
Okay,
not what.
that.
Well, that's something here in Tennessee we call a black IPA.
Well, that's
Very
what
true.
that was actually the original name of black IPA. That's what they first started calling it.
Everybody in Oregon calls it CDA.
They still call
Yeah.
it that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it was interesting.
But I got to try the unforgivable darkness. Almost unpronounceable.
I almost like unforgivable better.
Unforgivable.
Unforgivable. So, we had dinner at Steelhead, and it was great. There was some
that's where we
other...
ate. Okay,
Yeah, we
I
had
remember that. I remember the food.
And
All right, so tell us about the food. What was the food like?
It was good. It was good. I mean, it was better than your average like pub fare.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, that's
you had some
good.
salmon or trout, didn't you?
yeah, some kind of seafood.
Beef. Yep.
It was a fish.
It was a fish. I ate it.
Before Steelhead, we went to a place called Sam Bonds, which I described as
Industrial and hipster.
industrial hipster.
Yeah, industrial.
Okay.
But good beer here. I also learned another acronym there. Their accelerator is an ISA. What do you think that stands for, Dave?
Okay, India something. Hold on. S.
Right.
Squid. India squid.
Ale.
India
Now,
squid.
it's an India Session Ale, which was new to me.
He wasn't even close.
Hey, squids are very sessionable. Okay.
There's
no squid.
sessionable squid,
It's Oregon. There's seafood.
but they had a lot of acronyms I've not heard. There was also IRA, India Red Ale. So
I was thinking Irish Republic Army.
yeah,
but-
all
Yeah,
kinds
and
of variations on IPA. Just change the middle letter. And then in Eugene was a cool brewery called Oakshire. And
Okay.
we got to Oakshire. It was one of the first ones we hit. They're kind of in a brewery area. In fact, Hop Valley, Oakshire, the Falling Rock Deli, and Ninkasi are all about 3 minutes from each other.
Ninkasi.
So
Yeah.
Oakshire was very cool. They had a lot of good beers there.
Super nice staff.
Super nice staff. Great pale ale, great IPA. They had a Flanders Red, which I appreciated. There was a lot of hoppy beer in
I
Oregon.
love
But they had a good
Red.
Flanders Red and
Interesting.
an amazing name for Flanders Red, the Leftorium.
Leftorium.
I can hear someone stealing that one
Yes.
rather soon.
So that was, got to be a Simpsons fan to get that. But Leftorium, really nice Flanders Red, too.
Yeah.
But we actually brought some cans of the Oakshire Watershed IPA back with us.
This is very good.
So, Kendall or June, which one are you going to tell us about this beer? I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's okay.
I say June. June.
Okay.
June. All right. June,
Okay.
tell us about the Oakshire IPA.
Oakshire IPA out of Eugene, Oregon, with an ABV of 8.3%. And the commercial description.
Oh, actually, I think you've got the wrong one there.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, it is a 6.7%.
Oh, yeah, this is foreign stout. What the heck?
We tricked her.
It's dark and
We
full
tricked
of
you up
roasty
there.
malts.
Nice.
The,
Winter is
Tell us all
coming.
about the IPA.
The
Yeah,
Watershed
tell us about
IPA,
that.
it's a 70 IBU IPA, and it also 6.7%, just like the Hop Valley. And it's a pretty standard, what they're calling the Northwest IPA. I think it's got a little dryness to it too, but maybe just a little more malt character. But they make great use of hops in Oregon, and why not? You're right at the source. So everybody's IPAs were top notch, and Oakshire had a really nice one there.
Very cool.
So this is not the ISA. This is the IPA, right?
That's
I'm
right.
assuming.
Just a
I don't
pure
know,
IPA.
even at 6.7%, I find this very drinkable. Yeah, or chuggable.
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 Yes, that's right, Dave. Just for you, we're going to make up one
right.
word. So, Kendall, what's your Suds rating on the Oakshire IPA?
I like it. It's I'd give it a 4.
4.
And I think I don't want to cut off the burp there. But I think it's got a little more malt character than one we've had before. It's got a very strong maltiness to it to balance out all of those hops. In fact, it doesn't taste like 70 IBU because of that strong malt backbone.
No, it's not.
I would say it was, if I were to guess, like 40 or so. But that malt covers it up.
So this is a bit more. This is definitely again very malt forward. There's a bit more citrus or almost like a lemon overtone to this. It's very light on the tongue, and the measure of IBUs or the hops off this is very mild. I don't know what this is swinging, but man, if it's above 60 or 70, I would be blown away. Because
It's 70.
how about that? I mean, it's something that you could drink a lot of and probably get in a lot of trouble. I like June. She likes fish. Your hotel nearby.
We're going to take a brief commercial break.
I'm just figuring you're enjoying some of the locals, that are in this town as well as a lot of the beer. My Suds rating for this beer, and not my imitation of any of the locals, is actually a 3 as well. What a relief. Dave, what did you think about this beer or the lack of my interpretation of a local?
Well, I would give your interpretation a 1.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But out of respect for June, I'm going to rate this as a stout since that's what she named it.
Yeah.
I can explain why we did that.
That
Go ahead.
was-
You finish on the IPA, though, first.
No, actually, I think this is a very easy to drink IPA. It's there's definitely a great use of the hops, as Kendall said. But I do think there's a good malt bill in there too, as well. Not a lot of caramel malts or anything like that, but I do think that they're using their base malts very well, and I'd like to know exactly what's in there. But I do think it tastes very balanced, and I really enjoy this beer. And I'm talking very fast, which means I probably had a little bit to drink. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4.
4. The body should really not make that sound good. I go, June, what do you think about the Oakshire IPA?
I liked it. Yeah, I think the malts were good. Yeah, not too heavy. I could definitely drink more of this than I probably should.
Do it. Drink it now.
Do it.
Right
Chug
now.
it. Chug it. Yeah, I think I would give it a 4 as well.
How about that? So the one thing I noticed in kind of doing a little bit of our research here for today is that Oakshire, they're really famous for their barley wines. And so they have the Hellshire 1, 2, 3, and 4 are I think of the beers that they're really quite popular from Oakshire. And that's the reason why June got confused, because I actually put the Stout.
Yeah, thanks for hazing me like that.
Yeah, good job, Mike.
No, I
What a
changed
jerk.
things up on her because I thought we were going to talk about one of the stouts or the barley wines from there. But this is a really great IPA, all the better. So finally met some people there, and they said, you can't drive that gas guzzling thing anymore. You have to get an electric car. And so you hop back in the car.
We got in the car.
Got in the electric car this
driving.
time. And,
Did people actually say that?
Electric cars actually don't make a whole lot of noise. They just make all these beeping noises, And so tell us about the next part of your trip here.
Well, before we left town, we hit Elk Horn, which felt like a hunting lodge. And
Was there lots of dead things?
There were a lot of dead things hanging on the walls. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But the thing that the beer I really appreciated most there was a Saison. Like I said, I was a lot of hops in Oregon, so sometimes I was getting hopped out. I wanted something a little different. But they had a fantastic Saison. Just had a lot of that pepper character, very dry finish.
Kind of traditional?
Very traditional.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice. We also hit a little a brew pub in Springfield called Planktown. And then, of course, I mentioned Ninkasi, which was really nice.
Dude, yeah.
Does she like Ninkasi beer, or she just like saying Ninkasi?
A little bit of both.
It is kind of fun to say.
It is fun. Ninkasi.
They're the big dog. They're in Eugene.
Sure.
They're huge. They've got pretty wide distribution, although they're not in Tennessee. Although the guy pouring our beer was from Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the guy who poured our beers at Ninkasi was from Dixon, Tennessee, which is just down the road from Nashville.
That's a good place to get out of.
Jim, do you like bacon while you're out here in Oregon? You know what? If you got some Benton's bacon, you brought it with you. I like it a lot. I miss them. They got all these hops around here. I got all this stuff burned on my tongue. Something like that.
The one thing I liked about Ninkasi was just the variety of beers that we could get in the tap room. They're known for their hoppy beers.
Yeah.
And you can find their hoppy beers all over. So it's like, I'm going to try the beers that aren't hoppy. So I started with a Helles Lager. It was fantastic. It was called the Lux. Had their Mount Angel Oktoberfest. The Noir, which was, I think, a coffee milk stout.
Ooh, that was really good. I like that one.
It was fantastic. Yeah. And then also had a Quantum Pale Ale, which I believe was their fresh hop pale ale.
Huh. Nice.
And I bought a really cool Ninkasi hat that I left in the rental car, so I'll never see it again.
Damn it. If you happen to rent a car in Oregon and you find a cool Ninkasi hat, please send it to good old boy Kendall, care of Sips and Smokes.
When do we get to Bend and the fresh hops?
Well, we headed to Bend after Eugene.
I mean, dang, dude.
Dang. Let's get to Bend.
So I'll get the Deschutes.
We had to find coffee, though, before we left. So
yeah.
That's really difficult.
After all that beer.
And, what in June fell in love with a certain coffee company?
Dutch Brothers.
Dutch Brothers
got
coffee.
Hooked on Dutch Brothers.
Interesting.
Like 2 lattes a day.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Are they widespread?
Yeah.
In Oregon.
In Oregon, yes.
So they're a local roaster in the area. I know Dutch Brothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't throw a rock without hitting one. But yeah, June was up to a 2 latte a day habit. So that was fun. But we got some coffee and we headed over to Bend. And now that's a beautiful drive. I mean, half the other than beer, the other half of the trip that was great was just driving.
Yeah.
Oregon is a gorgeous state, from the coast through the Cascade Mountains and over to the high desert of Bend.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And so much good beer. Where do I even start? The first one we hit after we came over the Cascades was a little town called Sisters, Three Creeks Brewery. Great food, great beer, and just this little small town. We didn't expect it, but really good. We also hit Wild Ride up in Redmond before we headed into Bend. And then when we got to Bend, I mean, there's just so much to choose from. Breweries like... Deschutes, absolutely the big guy there. But small breweries like Cascade Lakes, Silver Moon, Boneyard. Now, Boneyard was, I think, my favorite in Bend.
So cool.
Because they did big, bitter, hoppy beers like no one else did.
I got some really awesome beer soap from there.
You got some beer soap?
Yes.
But we walked
in.
We walked in and we hear metal. And I start looking around, and it's. I realized this is not your typical brewery.
And he starts banging his head.
And I was banging my head, and I said, "This place reminds me of Three Floyds."
Right.
We looked down on the kegerator, and there's giant Three Floyds. So we start talking with the guy. He goes, "Yeah, we're buddies with him. We've done a collaboration." We've actually got some Zombie Dust and from what's the other one, Dark Lord, that Three Floyds sent them. They sent Three Floyds beer. Their RPM was a top-notch IPA.
That was one of my favorite beers from the whole trip.
It was my favorite beer on the whole trip, I think. And one of the, and really similar to Zombie Dust, actually, but and would give Zombie Dust a run for its money. But the Boneyard guys were very, very cool. Really enjoyed that. We did the Ale Trail in Bend, so there was 16 breweries, and we hit them all.
Wow!
In 3 days.
That's awesome.
So we got our
you get
little
a merit badge.
We get a silicon pint glass and a bottle opener. And we also did the Bend Brew Bus, which is fun to be a passenger on the Bend Brew Bus.
All things for you to do.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't done a brew bus before, but it was just great. A lot of small breweries and a lot of big breweries, but it was really good. And so while we were there, we did go to Deschutes, and we've got a finally's right, because it was the last brewery we hit before we left town. We saved the best for last.
Yes.
So we've got a bottle of fresh squeezed here.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So, June, can you tell us anything about the fresh squeeze here?
Sure.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. It's an IPA out of Bend, Oregon. Let's see. It has an ABV of 6.4%. And the description is, this mouth-wateringly delicious IPA gets its flavor from a heavy helping of Citra and Mosaic hops. Don't worry, no fruit was harmed in the making of this beer.
That's for sure. Thank you, June, for introducing the beer. What are some of your tasting notes on this beer?
I can definitely really taste the Citra. Citra is actually one of my favorite hops.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely a nice, clean taste to it. Yeah, I like this one.
What's your Suds rating on this?
I will definitely give this one a 4.
A 4. Body should really not make that sound. Good boy, Kendall. What do you think about fresh squeezed IPA from Deschutes?
Oh, I love the citrus character of this beer. And I wonder with the name fresh, if they are throwing some fresh hops in there. This is a seasonal. It's not a fresh hop beer.
No.
Boy, but I love it. And
did you have it on tap when you were there?
We did.
Hell yeah.
It was really good.
How was it different on tap there than the bottle right now?
Oh, it's even brighter. It's just brighter and crisper and fresher, and those hop aromas just really come through.
I believe that.
So yeah, I love this beer. I've had it before. I enjoy it, giving it a 4.
So for all the beer that we've, at least the IPAs that we've had here at the table from Oregon, this one is probably the sweetest.
Yes.
And easily, everybody's kind of nodding their head going, absolutely, Mike. And I think that the hop is definitely the belle of the ball, for this particular beer and the IPAs, as opposed to some of the other IPAs that were malt forward that we had here. Very interesting that we, accusing this of being a fresh hop beer, because I can imagine that this, on tap and really fresh would be, I think, quite amazing.
It was.
And, I think if I had to think about a deja vu moment, the difference between having New Belgium's Ranger IPA in a can and having it like a few months later versus having it fresh there at New Belgium. And that is such a cool IPA when it is super fresh. But, things definitely peel off and kind of fade, as they either get bottled or canned. And I think this particular beer has kind of suffered from that just a bit, because I can imagine where this was and kind of look at where it is now, and really appreciate it probably for what it was, really fresh. Really great beer, and I can see a lot of people, this will be very popular and approach a broad range of palates. My Suds rating for Deschutes Fresh Hop IPA, Fresh Squeezed IPA, is going to be a 4. Dave, what do you think about fresh squeezed IPA from Deschutes after you drank it all?
So I tried to, but you guys kept stealing the bottle from me. Fresh squeezed is one of, if not my favorite IPA. The citrus flavors that come out of it are amazing to me. I've actually made a clone of it myself before, and I really enjoyed that too. I think this one, I would agree, though, with Mike a little bit. shocker, is that I think
that doesn't happen.
Beers like this are best when they're fresher.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hop flavor fades and things start to go away a little bit. To me, this one, though, what's great about it, as it warms up, the flavors change.
Mm-hmm.
And as it got a little warmer, the citrus flavor that was mango and lemon in the beginning sort of morphed into a kind of melon flavor that, with the sweetness of the malts. There was sort of a melon kind of flavor that comes out of it too. So I really enjoy this beer. I wish that I don't want to move to Oregon necessarily, but
I do.
Yeah.
I wish that Deschutes would move to the house next door from me.
Now, you can drive up to Kentucky and buy it, right?
Yeah, but it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
I will go to Kentucky and get some. I mean, dang, but anyways, yeah. So I do love this beer very much, and I will give it a 5.
Listen to that hang time. Give me another. And so there you have our tasting notes and ratings on Fresh Squeezed IPA from Deschutes. Well, we've enjoyed the trip so far, and we're still stuck in Bend. But listen, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Sip, Suds, and Smokes. Today we're talking about beers from Oregon.
Nobody said timber.
Timber, Dave.
I'm just saying, dude. You got to say 4 and you got to say timber.
We're on a beer journey today with Kendall and June, who went through several different breweries in the Oregon area. We're visiting both breweries and beers and kind of revisiting this journey overall. So I thought the one thing that I would pick up is it's all about the buyout, man.
It is about the buyout.
Money, 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 money.
So, yeah, you're definitely in buyout ground zero. And so I've got to believe the conversation that was going on there in Bend was what just went down with 10 Barrel, and how do the locals feel about all this, and are they going to keep on being drinking 10 Barrel? Are they going to send all that money to Germany? Kind of what was the vibe, man?
The few people we talked to that we got to talk to some locals were, there's a lot of people in town that said, I'll never drink 10 Barrel beer again, and
wow.
I'm never giving them my money. And it's not hard to avoid 10 Barrel if you're in Bend, because you got like 30 other breweries you can drink from and still drink local. So there is a lot of anger. The brew bus driver was telling us about it. He said it was good for the people that work there. They ended up with some good benefits, some good insurance, a little better salaries. But, you got to wonder with a cost-cutting company like AB InBev, how long will that last till they start slashing positions? Mm-hmm. Now, I will say the beer was good. We went to 10 Barrel. I had a Berliner Weiss that was just fantastic. Food was amazing. There was a line. When we first went there, there was a line out the door and an hour-long wait. So we said,
packed.
Yeah, we're going to go drink somewhere else. And actually went to a little brewery called Rat Hole.
Oh, God.
Which
it was exactly what you thought it would be.
It wasn't that bad. But then we checked out a few breweries, and then we went back to 10 Barrel.
I'm sorry. I had this whole scene playing through my head.
No Rat Hole.
Rat Hole.
Rat Hole.
You're awfully cute. You got that little goatee thing going on there, and I like the way that you sip your beer.
So then we went back to 10 Barrel.
It definitely was.
9:30 at night, we got back to 10 Barrel, and it was still packed, but we were able to get a table in the bar. And
so they're running out the residual marketing brand of basically what they've established, and so the word is not quite settling in just yet.
Well,
this is Drummond Beer.
From talking to some of the people that were there, almost everybody in 10 Barrel is tourist because Bend is a tourist town.
Yeah,
so, we were, and a lot of people there were. So, I got the impression that the city overall is kind of just, pushed them to the side. But there's other beer there to drink, but not happy with it.
So you guys got back in the car and started to head off towards Portland, but you swung by Hood River and got to really taste some really great beer from a really great brewery, right?
Yeah. Now, tell them about that drive, June. What did we drive past?
Oh, you went right over Mount Hood.
Wow.
Yes, right by Mount Hood. Got some awesome pictures. That was really cool.
All the legume farms that are right there in the shadow of Mount Hood. And, really great.
It's beautiful.
I've done fly fishing up and down through several of the creeks that run right down, that valley through there. Really awesome.
He caught a lot of flies.
Definitely had a lot of flies.
So, we drove up to Hood River, a beautiful drive. It was weird going from the high desert back into the Cascades and then down to the Columbia River Gorge. But after 8 days in Oregon, I was hopped out.
Yes.
I did not need any more hoppy beer, and the heavens parted, and there was funk.
Kendall was sitting at about 98 IBUs.
We rolled into Hood River, and the first thing we did was head to Logsdon Farmhouse Ales.
Yes.
So, this is a very interesting brewery, and I've had a chance to have a lot of beers from Logsdon. They make a really great set of fresh saisons. My favorite is Pesh and Brett, and it's a really great saison itself. And I know that their session saison or saison. I guess what it's called. Are some really, really great beers from Logsdon. So one of the things that's gone down with Logsdon is a buyout. That's right. I've been part of the landscape of this description of buyouts. This is a very different kind of buyout. Now, mainly that Dave Logsdon cashed out as a partner at Full Sail Brewing, which is also in Oregon as well. Now, this transaction is actually groundbreaking for the craft beer industry because Full Sail was one of the first breweries actually to embark in the ESOP concept. So this is an employee-owned brewery that actually decided to say, I think that we would be better off if somebody gave us a ton of money as opposed to me staying here. So
I would hate if someone gave me a ton of money.
Well, that would be a very
I'm just saying.
That would suck.
My name is Dave. Please give me beer.
Or money. Money or beer, either one is.
They were so good. Everything we tried was
amazing.
Because they've had beers I've never heard of, like the Keeley Wit, which was just a really amazing wit beer. The Saison Bretta, the Oak Age Bretta. There was one called a Chicken Brett, which was just a really nice Saison. And
I liked everything we tried.
Everything there was fantastic.
Well, so I have to say I'm guilty that after I heard this buyout going on, I went down to my beer cellar and I went, okay, I'm not drinking any of these because I'll never get them again.
Bring them here. I'll take care of it.
We got that.
Yeah, definitely. So you went on down the road and you headed back to Portland.
We did head back to Portland. It was time to come home after 9 days, a wonderful 9 days, and part of me didn't want to leave. I love the state of Oregon. It's a beautiful place and so much good beer. But yeah, we went to Portland and we're on our way home.
You got back to Portland, and we have some really great beer to talk about
here. We brought a bottle of Fleur de Blanc from the Commons.
Fleur de Blanc. So, June, can you tell us all about this beer from the Commons?
Yes, this is the Fleur de Blanc. It is a rose and elderflower white farmhouse ale, 5.8 ABV. So the description is, it's a white farmhouse ale finished with elderflowers, rose hips, and rose petals. This beer is best enjoyed fresh with friends and family.
What exactly are rose hips, Dave?
Well, they're right above the rose knees.
I can't make this stuff up, people. It's not scripted.
Wow.
So, June, what did you think about this beer? Not Dave's comment.
I like this. I like the floralness of this. Just very floral. Could
you drink a lot of this beer?
I probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
I would give this one a 4.
A 4 as well. A body should really not make that sound. Good old boy Kendall, what do you think about Fleur de Blanc from the Commons?
It's the best beer I ever bought in an airport.
I forgot to talk about that. We bought it in the airport.
You know, one of the greatest things about the Portland airport is you can go to the Made in Oregon store and buy some amazing beer. Now, when we flew in, I peeked in there to see what they had, and there was some Logsdon beer at that time. When we left, the Logsdon beer was gone. But there were several other beers. So I brought this beer from the Commons.
Nice.
Was also able to find beers from Upright, which makes some really nice farmhouse beers. But so if you travel tip, if you're ever in the Portland airport, you can buy really good
beer quickly.
You can buy really good beer and bring it home.
Did you guys take pictures of the carpet in PDX?
I actually did.
Most of it is gone.
Did you post it?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
Only I think Terminal A still has the old carpet.
Okay.
Yeah, I did take it.
But actually, Rogue.
I took a foot selfie with it.
There you go.
There is a Rogue Ales Portland Airport carpet beer.
Yeah.
I don't know if they put the carpet in the mash.
Look, I don't know what it is. You're gonna have to look it up on your own.
Taste a little feety.
Famous airport carpet.
But I like this beer. I like the. I'm not sure what those elderflowers. It gives it a little sharpness that I'm not sure I'm digging, and it kind of tastes like a wit with a little extra floral kicked in. And I could drink it, but it's not thrilling me, and I'm only giving it a 3.
Boo.
Well, I've had several beers from the Commons, and the Urban Farmhouse is another very common beer from the Commons. It's another beer that certainly that is widely available. The first thing that caught me off the Fleur de Blanc is definitely the de Blanc part of the equation. The white wine component coming off this was certainly very evident. I found that it had many of the same components you would find in white wine. This was actually more of a dry white wine. This had probably maybe a Sauvignon Blanc from the area. I don't know what kind of barrel that they may have dropped this in so that it takes on a lot of those characteristics, but definitely I could tell that the wine was a heavy influence off of this particular beer for sure. So I would say this is a great beer for a wine lover that doesn't like beer.
I can see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I'm a bit with Kendall for beer lovers that really love beer and a lot of flavor. I don't know, not so much.
It's a little bit of a girly beer, I guess.
So is it elderflower or elderberry?
Elderflower.
Elderflower fades so fast. I mean, the half-life of the aroma with elderflower is just so quick. For anybody to capture that in a bottle is just amazing. Saint Germain is a very common elderflower liqueur, and even then I find most things with Saint Germain, I'm like, is there Saint Germain in this? Because I can't taste any of the elderflower. Because once you smell that, or you have something where it's a taste in it, you'll know when it's there and you'll know when it's not. And this is really faded very quickly, and that and the wine component is just so overwhelming around this. Anyway, so I'm waxing on. My Suds rating for the Commons Fleur de Blanc is a 3. Dave, dare I ask what you thought about the Fleur de Blanc from the Commons?
Well,
how are the hips?
And the hips.
The hips are great. I actually had some really profound thoughts, but Mike talked so long I forgot what all it was. I just remember something about old flowers and stuff like that, and some wine. He was whining a lot about old flowers. No, I really enjoy this beer. I am a beer drinker, and I do think this has some very cool flavors that are non-traditional, beer flavors. I think it's very floral, and I think that I could not drink it all the time, and I could not drink a bunch of it. but sometimes a beer like this is really cool to have in certain circumstances. And this is one of those things where, like, if you brought a bottle back from the Oregon airport, that I would go, damn, dude, thank you for bringing this back. That's very nice of you. And I am enjoying drinking it with you. So, no, I think this is a very special beer. And I like it, and I like Rose's hips, and I like her thighs.
I'm feeling uncomfortable again.
Yeah, me too. But it's okay. We're all here together. So I'm going to give this beer a. Your what?
Don't hold my hand, Dave.
Oh, I'm glad you said hand.
Wow.
I'm going to give this beer a 4.
4. Longest description in history to arrive at. You know. Well, we've really enjoyed this beer journey through Oregon, and a lot of great beer that we really got to talk about today through this. June, Kendall, thank you so much for sharing this journey with us, for sure.
Yay,
Go Ducks.
Kendall.
Yay.
Well, really great stuff all the way around. So let's wrap up our episode for today. Thanks to all our listeners here on Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
Both of you.
Hi, Mom.
Especially those of you that like Rose hips. You can catch all of our episodes online on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Uncle John's Basement, and Spreaker, our native media host. You can definitely catch our episodes online through Android. If you want to search on the Google Play Store. See, I said that right that time.
Google.
Yes, or you can search for us on iTunes, Sips, Suds, and Smokes. And we're right on there as well. You can reach us online anytime at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every single day. Our handle is @SipsSudsSmokes. And our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. Listen, do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a great big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. This Sip, Suds, and Smokes episode is sponsored by Peabody Wine and Beer Merchants. Taste it before you buy it and ship it at Peabody's. You can reach them online at www.peabodyswineandbeer.com. Kendall and June, how can folks catch up with you guys on Beer Makes 3?
June and I blog about the beer at Beer Makes 3. We like to share the good news of good beer. We call ourselves beer evangelist, which, you got to get the word out there. There's people,
Hallelujah.
People who haven't been converted yet, so we're working on it. We also, you can find us at beermakes3.com or on Twitter or Instagram at beermakes3. So,
and Facebook.
And Facebook as well, where we like to share beer news. So.
Well, I want to thank all my co-hosts for being here today. Good old boy Dave, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I just want to... Anyway. Good old gal Jude, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The bravest soul here.
Yes.
Great.
Good old boy Kendall, thank you for being here once again.
Cheers, folks. Always drink good beer.
Well, it's good old boy Mike asking you to join us once again and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.